G'day everyone, it's Rob here. Hope you're doing well, and it's January 2025, and what better way to kick off the year than to completely change and revolutionize your drum technique literally overnight, which is something that is kind of rare because the vast majority, maybe 99% of the things that we work on the drum kit are things that we just have to grind and repeat over and over and over again till something finally clicks. It's very rare that we can just employ one thing, a hack, one weird trick, and then we can start making some drastic improvements straight away. I just happen to have a video recommended to me in my YouTube feed that absolutely blew me away and changed how I think about holding my sticks and approaching the drum kit. Before we get into that, please like this video and subscribe to the channel and comment. All those things would really help me out with getting this video and this channel seen. Okay, so what is the video? It is a Tony Williams video from an old Zildjian day from 1985. But rather than me explain it to you, we're gonna watch it together, and I'm gonna talk about how I've adapted it to my playing and how I've interpreted it.
Most drummers I come across play with the front part of the hand like this, with just maybe these two fingers. And they rely basically on bounce, meaning that they're relegated to the surface that they're playing on. And they drop the stick and bounce it along like that. It's kind of a willy-nilly, haphazard type of technique to me.
So let's quickly cover how we're normally taught, for the vast majority of us. And it usually starts with the fulcrum, which is, the balance point between the thumb and the index finger, right? It's like we start here, we're told, and whether it's like this joint or this joint, most of the time it starts in this fulcrum point and the other fingers, they kind of wrap around. And they are kind of like this secondary mechanic, right, that is sort of employed depending on, perhaps the speed or the dynamic that you're working with. And what he's talking about is usually like an issue that a lot of people come across where they're trying to get more bounce out. So, usually, you might see people who stick the pinky out, sometimes, even this one as well, so they can get that maximum amount of movement going. If we are making sure that all of our fingers are in contact with the stick and we're using this fulcrum point, is there anything wrong with that? No, absolutely not. It's employed to great effect. As long as your fingers are in play, you can lead from the fulcrum. Okay, let's go on. Let's see what he has to say about this particular technique.
At that time, there were many drummers traveling around the country that were incredible drummers, and I was fortunate enough to be able to see them. And I found out through watching them that the best drummers played a different way. They played with the back part of the hand, meaning these last two fingers. They held the stick basically here. So that means that the drummer has to play with his hand in the hand and not bouncing it, say, like this, but holding it with all the fingers and being in control. That's the difference. Being in control is one of the most important aspects of drumming. I don't know if you've ever played and you've played something and you've tried a figure, and in your mind you probably say, boy, I hope this works. Well, I decided a long time ago that I didn't want to be subjected to that for the rest of my playing career. So I decided that whenever I played anything, I knew whether it was going to work or not. So I hold the sticks very firmly, and I don't rely on bounce, which helps a great deal, and it gives me a very solid technique.
I think he sums it up so well when he voices that thought of oh boy, I hope this works, because I can tell you that even today I have I have moments like that, and I'm sure everyone has those moments, and we kind of aspire to eliminate that problem by just practicing as much as we can, getting in as many reps as we can. I have seen this before. I remember Dom Famularo demonstrated it once. He may very well have like been, ported it over from this particular video, and you'll see I've seen him use it as well. But just for like just single full power kind of strokes, very different from using it as the base of where your fulcrum is. Because if we think about this in terms of where the base of the grip is, as opposed to just simply holding the sticks more firmly, like starting from here and just holding everything much more firmly. But actually that being the base where everything is generated from, that's how I got to thinking a little bit differently. I don't think when Tony plays, and if you can watch, he does have a very solid sound when he plays, but if you watch him play, like say his up-tempo jazz, he still uses fingers. He has a command over rebound. I think probably the key point is that what it is, and I've found this with other aspects of playing, is that the more you can develop your tactile relationship with the kit, with your feet as well as your hands, that is something that is going to give a lot more information. It's more that you can monitor. So what do I mean by that? It's like when you hit a drum, you're actually feeling the hit as it happens. So there's the sound of the drums, and you can obviously see what you're doing as well, but also actually being able to feel what you're doing. And the more basically points of contact that you have within the stick, the more command and touch you're going to have. So how can we adapt this? Because we don't just want to clamp the stick down where it is literally just the hand doing it. When we're doing, say, a single stroke roll, we still want to maximize the amount of bounce that's available to us. Why wouldn't we? It does give us a much better sound when we actually have an open grip. So it's like we can, look at this video of Tony and just go, well, it's Tony Williams. Like, who's going to argue? But then we look at a Keith Carlock, who is, he's the polar opposite. He is, if you look at videos of him playing, he's like right out here. He's like, he's all the way like almost at the tips of his fingers, and he generates incredible power and incredible sound. But he uses all of his fingers as well. Like he still has that tactile relationship with what he's doing. Now, I'm typically a rock and metal player, and I think this is so much more adaptable to what we do. So when we do stuff like even just like our simple rudiments, just on the pad, things that we don't have to think about, stick control, that's the perfect time to think about these things. So what I've been doing to make this work for me is when I'm making a stroke, I'm thinking about, instead of generating from, not just from the top down, say like the stick's in my hand, and I am just, and I'm just throwing my hand down, I'm also generating leverage from back here. So rather than simply just holding the stick here and hand goes down, I'm also generating leverage from back here. So I still have like, a relatively open grip. I'm not using the fingers to like pull in. It's as the wrist is moving, I'm finding I'm getting so much more leverage. It's like I feel like it's like I'm holding like the end of the the baseball bat from here. Like you're not going to generate as much of a swing of a baseball bat if you're holding it like up here, right? Which is like, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but that is the feeling, right? And the thing is, this is just one technique. So even just the other day, I was like working through, funnily enough, double strokes with a student, and as I'm moving through the tempos, my fulcrum is constantly changing. Whether it's like, whether I'm in this joint, whether I'm in this joint, whether my index finger is just sitting on top like this, and just moving through those different grips. The same goes for when I need to play from here. And especially as like metal people, like we get like a lot of, like hand cramps can be quite common. Now, conditioning is a component of that as well. But something, even prior to seeing this video, I would try and take these opportunities to open up my grip and hold it through here. But once again, just for like very simple power stuff. I never thought about it. That was just kind of a backup plan as opposed to actually being the base of something. So nowadays, when I'm sort of, working through singles and all these kinds of things, I am trying to generate, my fulcrum is like more so from here. Doesn't mean that this is doing nothing. Why would I take all of that out? Let's use everything. I'm finding I'm definitely like generating more power, but you do feel that confidence. I feel like the more you have that tactile relationship with the stick, the more you just know what's going on. You know where you are in space, and you know how things are reacting as you're reacting. And that's going to give you like way more confidence behind the set. I'm seeing the fruits of this as well. And I really hope that if you've had the chance to watch this video and then go watch Tony's video, that you give this a go and see what happens, because, we're always looking for ways to make big shifts in our playing very quickly. And, it's all well and good to learn, new things. But I think the thing that we want most on the kit is just that level of confidence, so that when we go on stage, the things that we want to happen are going to happen. And I truly have found this to be a path to that. Anyway, look, I know this has been a lot of information and a lot of chit chat, but you can simply just start by starting from here. Like, just start feeling that out. Like, as you can see, like there's so much movement in there, and you can adapt between the two. This isn't an all or nothing thing. You might find that like this might be a way forward. So let me know in the comments if you already do this, and if you actually started from here. Did someone teach you that way? Or if you already play like this and maybe you just feel like you're lacking that kind of confidence, have you made that transition? Anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching this all the way through. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. Even if you don't have anything to say, it'll just help out with the video, and I will endeavor to do more of these analysis videos. If you'd like to see more of that, let me know, and I will catch you in the next video.